that said, welcome everybody to Truth Wrestling Radio. You're listening to the show live on IDMI.com on Thursday, May 5th. Just check the schedule and make sure. Yeah, it is the 4th. Actually, it's the 3rd. It's May the 3rd. I'm a day off. Don't check the calendar every day like most people. But Sam Broadcaster is not cooperating the way I want it to. So I'm a bit very frustrated with that. So I'm just in the old mood anyway. So anyway, before I get into the recap of WWE and TNA of the past week or so, let's get right to two things. Number one, not sure if some of you seen it last night. It's been on Deadspin. It's been on other media stories. But what I'm getting to is what happened during the LA Clippers and Memphis Grizzlies game yesterday. Jerry the King Lawler was in attendance. Of course, he is a Memphis native, and he gave a Clippers fan the power driver during a timeout in the first half of the Grizzlies versus Clippers game yesterday. Of course, the Grizzlies went on to win that game. Jerry the King Lawler, man, only he can do that. Only he can pull the power driver. He couldn't do it on Daniel Bryan this past Monday, but he did a power driver on a fan just yesterday. So just thought I'd bring it up, and you probably can see it on YouTube somewhere. Jerry Lawler, Memphis Grizzly power driver. You have to type a lot. Jerry Lawler, Memphis Grizzly power driver. Yeah, it's on Deadspin.com. I seen it during the halftime show of TNT, and they show footage of it. And Charles Barkley and Shaq, but especially Charles Barkley, like, Barkley need to leave us alone, or me and Shaq gonna get you. Just looking around, of course, unless they gonna end up like Cena and Triple H. Now Shaq's a big dude. Shaq is a big dude, no doubt about it. So yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up. That's number one. Number two is TNA Impact is changing times starting May 31st. They are moving to an hour early. They're moving to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, starting May 31st. Of course, this is a few weeks removed from Impact Wrestling signing a multi-year extension to stay put on Spike TV. Of course, they've been telecasting on Spike TV since 2005-2006. So TNA making some more changes as they go. And I thought someone was going to be here, but I don't see the person as of yet in the chat room. But I digress. I'm not going to waste too much time on SmackDown, but give you a couple of results here. SmackDown of last Friday. Big Show defeated Alberto Del Rio by disqualification due to the interference of Cody Rhodes. Nikki Bella defeated Alicia Fox. Michael Cole interviewed Randy Orton. What else? The new team of Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. They went on to defeat Ezekiel Jackson and Yoshitatsu. Oh, and let's see what else. A new wrestler made his debut. He happens to be the friend of Oksana, who pretty much dumped Teddy Long the moment he lost his power at WrestleMania. Let me see if I get his name correctly. Antonio Casterio. He went on to defeat Tyson Kidd. Great Khali defeated Cody Rhodes. Ryback, well, he handled his business. I'll tell you that. No hesitation whatsoever. Oh, and later on tonight, I'm going to be interviewing indie pro wrestler Marcus Streets. He will be calling in tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So there you go. On to Extreme Rules from this past Sunday night. I'm going to get to some of my favorites. I think I debuted this at WrestleMania. And this is only for the pay-per-views that I actually watch with Andrew. I debuted this and I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to give you my top 3 favorites and top 3 least favorites. Let's go ahead and start with the bad first. Number 3. I'm probably gonna say Big Show versus Cody Rhodes because of the ending to it. Now, it was the funniest match, funniest moment, but it was not what I would call a 5-star match. So here's what happened at the end between Big Show and Cody Rhodes. You see, as Big Show was at the ramp, Cody Rhodes, there's a chair behind the Big Show. It's standing. It's right behind Big Show. He's at the ramp. He's trying to get back in the ring, and then Cody Rhodes drop kicks Big Show. Now, it wasn't a big drop kick, but it was big enough. It was big enough for him to lose his balance, and one of his boot smashes. One of his foot smashed the table in half. And once that happened, you know, Big Show had the oh shit look on his face. You know when something crazy happens and you get that look on your face when you know something is wrong. You just get that look on your face. Oh shit, the referee's coming this way, and he's about to see it. Me personally, I thought it was funny. But I'm going to give it to my least 3 favorites. Number 2, I would probably say Orton versus Kane. It was the opening match. I missed like the first 10-15 minutes because of My tire needed some air. I missed out on the first 15 minutes of the pay per view, and I've probably seen the last 5-10 minutes of it. I will tell you this: Orton and Kane, it's time. It's time for them to focus on something different. It's time for them to focus on different storylines. The only reason that Kane and Orton are together in the first place, because remember, as I said, go back to Elimination Chamber, and Randy Orton was originally scheduled to compete in the Chamber for the World Heavyweight title. He gets a concussion due to Daniel Bryan, and he wasn't cleared to compete. He had to sit in the sidelines. So after Elimination Chamber, they ended up facing each other, I guess. I hope that this comes to an end at Over the Limit. Kane defeated Orton at WrestleMania. Orton defeated Kane at whatchamacallit. He beat him Extreme Rules. So they got to take care of that pronto. I hope that Over the Limit, if they face each other again, that this will very well be the end. My number one dislike about Extreme Rules is the main event itself: Cena versus Lesnar. I'll tell y'all something. Brock Lesnar competed in his first WWE match in 8 years. His first wrestling match overall in 5 or 6 years. He's been back with the WWE since the night after WrestleMania. Remember, this man is 4 months removed from his last MMA fight. WWE obviously paid this man a lot of money. What else can you do? And the guy, and I asked this last week, I believe, are we going to get the MMA fighter? Are we going to get the professional wrestler? And it turns out we ended up getting the MMA fighter. Now, I'm a fan of MMA. I'm a fan of professional wrestling. That's why I'm doing this show. But if I wanted to watch a MMA fighter fight, I would prefer it being in the octagon at the UFC or Strikeforce, rather than it being in the main event of a wrestling pay-per-view. Especially a guy who hasn't been in a wrestling match in almost half of a decade. Brock Lesnar, I think he just threw his wrestling arsenal out the window and just thought, I'm just going to go and be the MMA fighter. He beat the living hell out of John Cena. There's no doubt about that. He nearly broke his arm. The same arm bar or move that he did on Triple H. And we're going to get into the Raw recap in just a little bit. But I just couldn't stand it. And then what he tried to do when he went to the ropes, right? And he knocked Cena off the ropes or whatever. And then Brock falls off his butt as well. Me personally, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen Brock Lesnar done since that attempt of a shooting star press. At WrestleMania 18, took on Kurt Angle. Remember the shooting star press he tried to pull? He nearly broke his neck. I did not like the main event at all whatsoever. I mean, look what happened with The Rock. He hasn't been in a wrestling match in 7 years, and he was in great shape. It was like he never left. Brock Lesnar, people were saying he was out of shape, and what happened to validate it, and it validated it at the Extreme Rules. Brock Lesnar was out of shape. He didn't want to do no wrestling moves. He did a couple, but he didn't do that much. All he wanted, and he had his MMA pants on, his shorts on. It was my least favorite moment at Extreme Rules this past Sunday night. Lesnar versus Cena. Now I understand the angle, trying to make him a big badass bully, and Cena vulnerable, and then he turned into Super Cena and pick up the victory. And then after the match, Cena was like, you know what? I'm gonna need to take some time off. You know, he has one arm at this point. Cena hasn't suffered a serious injury in a couple years. He has suffered multiple injuries throughout his career. But yet, injury or not, when he's able to walk, he shows up to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown every single week. Those are my three least favorite moments. Cody Rhodes versus The Big Show, Kane versus Orton, and Cena versus Lesnar. And what's going on to the Graveyard who just joined me in the chat room? What's going on, Graveyard? I see you in the chat room. Now I'm going to give you my top three favorite moments of Extreme Rules. Huh. You know what? Now that I think about it, I probably should have put. You know what? Let me take that back. I mean, I can't do this. It's my show. I can do whatever. No, I'm gonna keep it the way it is. Number three favorite moments. I would go with Brodus Clay versus Dolph Ziggler. It's good to see that Brodus Clay is getting an opportunity at a pay-per-view nonetheless. And of course, he turned the funk up on Dolph Ziggler. He handled his business. I don't know why people are tripping over Brodus Clay, but sometimes you can't just be all wrestle all the time. Sometimes you gotta get loose. Sometimes you gotta have fun. You gotta get loose. Wrestling is just ain't wrestling. You gotta be somewhat entertaining. Last time I checked, and that's what Clay brings. He brings that entertaining value. He brings that fun. If you like to train and all that stuff, then you get a kick out of it. So props to you, Brodus Clay. Number two, in my favorite moments of Extreme Rules, I would say Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. I love the match. 2 out of 3 falls. The fans have caught on to the yes chants more than ever, and I'm completely annoyed by it. I can't stand the yes chant. I can't take it. It is annoying. Can't with it. I don't like it. I just can't deal with it. But it's working with Daniel Bryan just fine. It's working for him very well. 2 out of 3 falls with Sheamus. The first fall, Sheamus won by DQ simply because I think he had the pressure on the arm and the shoulder, and the ref gave him 5 seconds to break the hold on the rope, and that led to Bryan being disqualified and Sheamus win the first fall. The second fall, Daniel Bryan won by submission. He called it the yes block, but Sheamus didn't chance. He pretty much passed out because of what happened that led to the first fall ending. And then the deciding fall, you have people checking up on Sheamus to see if he wanted to continue, and being the fighting champion that he is, the Great White ended on continuing. he ended up continuing. And he went on to win the deciding third fall. I think it made up for what happened at WrestleMania, and it was 18 seconds. And I like Sheamus coming into the ring with his T-shirt with his logo at the back, and then the front it reads 18 seconds as referring to the WrestleMania match. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was clever. Sheamus is underrated as far as being entertaining. He's just a vicious, mean, vicious dude in that ring, but he got some good skills on the mic. If you can put up with the Irish accent, you're good. Then you know how talented Sheamus is. The great white fella, as I like to refer to him. I wish they he referred. I wish the announcer, whether it's Justin Roberts or Lillian Garcia, referred to him as the great fella. I don't think WWE's going that far. And my favorite moment of Extreme Rules definitely has to be Punk versus Jericho, the Chicago Street Fight. The matchup was pretty damn good. I like this match as well. Chicago Street Fight, taking it to the streets. Like, how can wrestling promotions call it a street fight when you don't actually wrestle from the streets? No, it just might as well call it Extreme Rules match because that's what it was. And dressed casual, they dressed a little bit differently. For Punk, he was wearing shorts. For Jericho, he was wearing some pants in the Chicago Street Fight. It was a hell match. CM Punk's sister got involved, slapped Jericho in the face. That was hilarious. And the thing is, CM Punk's sister was there, but CM Punk's father was not. Don't know why he wasn't there, but I'm guessing, you know, he would have gotten more of the attention. So he pretty much reached out to his sister and said, hey, you get involved, you slap Jericho in the face, and that's it. That's all you're getting. My friend Graveyard's having some issues. Um, but you can listen to the ITMI radio shows. You can listen to it either at you can listen to it either at WinApp or iTunes. You can listen to the stream on iTunes. I'm saying you can listen to it. In case if you, and we have a Schmoopy Pook, whoever that may be. Welcome to the show. So as I'm saying, I like the Punk versus Jericho match. That's my favorite moment. So I gave you my 3 least favorite, and I gave you my 3 favorites. Coming up in a matter of moments, I will be joined with Marcus Streets, indie pro wrestler from Maryland. I've watched a couple of his matches on YouTube. He's a high flyer. I like what I see. I want to give a shout out to Fantasia. I want to give a shout out to pro wrestling legend Fantasia. She told me about a couple of wrestlers that will be good guests on this show. One particular, Ricky Reyes. Ricky Reyes, he's going to be on the show coming up. And we have Nick joining us in the chat room. I'm going to assume you're a first-time listener. And if that's the case, welcome to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Thank you for listening. I'm assuming you're either here, first-time listener, and you're awaiting Marcus Streets to call in. Or whatever the case they may be, welcome to the show, Nick, and thank you for being here. But I want to give a shout out to Fantasia. She told me about a couple of wrestlers, AR Fox, Ricky Reyes, and tonight's guest, Marcus Streets. Ricky Way is going to be a guest on the show next Thursday night. So I'm looking forward to interviewing Ricky. He's been in Ring of Honor. He's been wrestling in the country and outside of the states. Looking forward from him. And cool, Nick. Thank you again, and welcome to the show, man. We on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on itmiradio.com/TTW. I'm going to go ahead and get into Monday Night Raw recap here. Obviously, one of the big stories, I'm just going to get this out of the way. Um, Other results from Extreme Rules. Layla became the new Divas champion. Uh, yeah, Santina Marella defeated this, and that's pretty much the rest of the Extreme Rules recap. Now, I can get into Monday Night Raw. Um, of course, the big story is the Layla defeated the Bella Twins in a triple threat match, and then later on, WWE.com, Eve Torres dropped the bomb on them, saying that they got fired. Storyline wise, but real life wise, their contract expired on Monday night at midnight, which means in short terms, they are free agents. Now, when you get released from WWE, I think you have a 60 to 90-day no compete clause. So they can be wrestling elsewhere until that no compete clause ends. So that's all done. And with Layla being the champion, and with Beth Phoenix injured, I guess that injured was legit considering she was originally scheduled to compete at Extreme Rules. But Eve said that she wasn't medically cleared to compete. So yes, the injury is legit, and she's gonna be out of action for a while. For how long, I don't know. But we obviously wish Beth a speedy recovery. That Diva division needs all the help it can get. So what's next for Layla, who came back after a year absence from she was recovering from an injury, and who knows if and when Carl is coming or not. Um, the Divas division needs a lot of help, and not that the Bella Twins made a difference. I'm gonna get more on this wrap a little bit later. My guest is calling in right now. Let me go ahead and add him to the call here via Skype. Ladies and
Hello.
gentlemen, I am joined with Marcus Streets right here, right now.
What's going on, man? Good day for me. Good to
Uh,
be on your show.
Thank you for being on, man.
I ain't know if I was connected at first, man.
It's just slight miscue, yes, with
Okay.
Skype. It happens. Uh, of course, I am joined with Marcus Street here on Triple Threat Radio. You're from Maryland. You're part of a wrestling stable called Black Wall Street. We're going to get into all of that. How did your wrestling career get started, Marcus?
We started back in late December 2008. I went down and I trained in Hagerstown. I think I was 22, 23 pounds. Yeah. But I went down Hagerstown, started down there, and trained with John Rambo. And he does shows down there. Like, uh, the so within, I think, maybe the first few months of me training, they just threw me right in there. Battle royals at first, and then threw me in there. It was my stuff. And by working so often now, it was a good thing for us. I mean, we had a chance to work in front of audiences and stuff like that. twice a week. So it did a real good job for me when I first started. But that's where I started down in Hagerstown back in late December 2008, I believe it was.
All right. So who are your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Mine growing up, the flashy stuff. Like I was a big Shawn Michaels fan, of course, like everybody. I was a big Rey Mysterio fan, big Rob Van Dam fan. You know, as a wrestler, kind of unorthodox type style. You know what I mean? I was a big the way he did that. But that was mainly the guys I liked the most. Those guys, Rob Van Dam was a big inspiration. So it's kind of how I shaped my style around. Maybe Rob Van Dam, Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, those type of guys.
It's interesting. 10, 15 years ago, high flyers, the cruise light heavies was big, and they started competing against heavyweights and such. For example, like you mentioned, Mysterios and the RVDs and Rey Mysterios. They started off competing against people their size, and they end up competing against people twice their size. You can fire, and your size and all. Do you get the feeling that your opponents that are twice your size, you feel that they underestimate you because of your size?
You know, I've heard that you know, jack up guy, just have to use like that was that where I'm bring stuff like that. See athleticism, like, but you pick out what kind is but I have a lot of fun working with big guys. Like that MTW last year was all the same continuity and all season. The like all was fun. So what I did and we had to all summer. You know, it was I worked with stuff. It was fun to like work out. We did that.
Talk
Pretty fun.
a little bit about Black Wall Street. How did that people came about?
Uh, back first time back in Napalm and I thank him. That's all and I guess when Napalm is all about stuff like that, Napalm makes kind of work out and
All right, so the next question for you is, what is your thoughts on professional wrestling right now? It seems like back then it's like heavyweights. Today it's relying on CM Punks, the Daniel Bryan's. You got that's not necessarily 250 pounds. What's your take on the state of professional wrestling right now?
I don't watch WWE right now. I just recently. Uh, Back in the day, man, early 90s, we watched the late, 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 that's me, and I love that type of era, now that he's playing with, I I don't get the let's see, I don't know anymore.
Me, I think WWE, trying to consider themselves entertainment. Uh, it's they still got talent, but it's just they caught up with what to be was entertainment. When they are actually
Smart, you know, so mad at them,
uh, I'm not sure if you heard this on that, but TNA has just debuted a new segment on that show called Gut Check. It's when they are giving wrestlers from the indies the opportunity to compete on their stage, in their ring. And if you perform well, then you will eventually get a contract with TNA. Are you familiar with TNA Gut Check? And if so, is that something they consider doing?
it sounds pretty good. I'm not familiar with it, to be honest with you. I think, uh, I don't watch TNA kind of stuff. It's something I want to do. Something like to do it. Maybe I wouldn't right now. I'm more right now. So, so, but I guess the gut check sounds like a good idea.
So, of course you wrestle for MCW over at Maryland. Talk about your upcoming shows you have coming up.
The next show I got going on is Primal Conflict Wrestling. That's in West Virginia. Pretty good deal down there. Got nice wrestlers down there. Good work to bring in stuff like that. MCW has the big show on Shamrock, which is always a really good show. That's the main calendar for to the Shamrock. But we got a couple of things going on in the world that I was going to do. Uh, it's just
All right. Everybody look up your page and request. You can also on the page of Wall Street Facebook page where there's yeah, Black
Fan page, like the Black Wall Street fan page. We all is
it's all good, man. And I'm gonna also give a shout out to a Western legend. He told me about you, and I check out your matches on YouTube, and I love to see myself. I'm a huge fan of highlighters, you know. Those take the risk. I feel like when you got a show, it's the highlighters. They they do you know, pop and they more they take more risk than you know former wrestlers. And you guys have been me. I wish you most success to you.
and
Oh, I have one question for you guys.
yes,
What would your be to me out there that wants to do the career as a wrestler? What would your advice be?
my my serious and I get fans to go to if you're in Maryland, if you want to act know study wrestling, go to the gym, go to the gym, gym, work out, and get some work. And that's it. And find a good training school. That's the best advice I can.
All right. And ask all guests to do this. It's like a station ID. It's like a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name, and whatever you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio,
Okay.
and you go right ahead.
Okay. Listen to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Perfect. Everybody like this man's Facebook fan page and like Black Wall Street. If you're in the Maryland area, go check him out over at MCW. Great talking to you. Marcus, best of success goes out to you. And again, thank you for your time.
All right, bro. Appreciate it, man.
You have a good night.
All right, you too, man.
All right, bye bye. That was Marcus on Black Wall Street. And Nick, I, I didn't see your question, so I'm sorry, man. I know you wanted to ask a question, but I didn't see you type the question in the room. So, my fault, man. If you're still listening. I only have 13 minutes to recap the rest of Raw and Impact. So, as I said, the Bella Twins are gone. Beth Phoenix is injured. Layla's the new Divas champion. So, what does that mean for Karma? And what's next for the rest of the Divas division? You know, it's giving us more questions and answers, to tell you the truth. Of course, Brock Lesnar broke Triple H's arm when he was trying to sort things out between he and Laurinaitis. I guess things didn't work out for on Triple H on part. The Beat the Clock Challenge. Miz defeated Santino. Orton defeated Swagger. Brodus Clay defeated JTG. Kane and Khali ended in a draw. And Daniel Bryan is your winner in the Beat the Clock Challenge. So that means Daniel Bryan will take on CM Punk for the WWE Championship at Over the Limit pay-per-view. There was a new tag team champions in R-Truth and Kofi Kingston. They defeated Primo and Epico. If you recall, when Primo and Epico defeated, they won the tag team titles. They won the titles from Eric Boom, Kofi Kingston and Eric Boom, which pretty much led to Evan Bourne's 60-day suspension. So the talk about full circle, you lose the titles with one guy, you win the titles back with another person. Talk about going full circle for Kofi Kingston. Chris Jericho and Big Show, that ended the double counted out. So Jericho is out of the WWE title picture, and Chris Jericho's not going to be with the WWE for very long anyway, because he's about to go on tour with his band. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So there you go. Yeah, Jericho's not going to be with WWE for very long. So there's a lot of changes for WWE. Oh yeah, and John Cena, one arm and all, he showed up, and John Laurinaitis, despite Cena getting injured, there's no way he's gonna be 100% healthy in less than 3 weeks. Come Over the Limit. John Laurinaitis has put Cena in the match anyway, and he's gonna have to go up against John Laurinaitis. Are you kidding me? That, my friends, is a joke. It is a utter disgrace. It's an utter disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. Just can't. John Laurinaitis, this dude think he can just take over or whatever, and now he wants to get involved physically. Aren't you doing the same shit that Triple H did that led to losing his job on the wall? Okay, losing power last year. You want to take matters into your own hands, but you're doing it for evil. Now you want to go up against a one-armed John Cena Over the Limit. Talk about stuff that came out of nowhere. And who knows what the future holds for Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar, he didn't get fired. He didn't say he was going to quit. So that leads us to what the future holds for Brock Lesnar next week. Is John not going to be able to pull off what Brock Lesnar couldn't do at Extreme Rules? We shall see. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the TNA recap here. Devon defeated Bully Ray, retained the TV title. Joe and Magnus defeated Hardy and Anderson, handpicked by Hogan. How about Jeremy Borash calling off Eric Bischoff? It was open fight night. I like the concept, and I like majority of the show, with the exception of what happened at the end, and I'll get to that momentarily. Mexican America took on Angle. Kurt Angle defeated Anarchy, Robbie E defeated Alex Silva in the TNA Gut Check Challenge. And tonight, we're going to find out if OVW's Alex Silva gets a contract or not. Brooke Tessmacher goes on to defeat Gail Kim for the second week in a row. Could Brooke Tessmacher be in the hunt for the Knockouts Championship? Hint, hint. Defeated you pinned the Knockouts champion 2 weeks in a row, so that obviously has to show a sign of something. Oh yeah, and Eric Bischoff. Go back to the previous pay per view. If you go back to the previous pay per view, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Bischoff's team lost to Garrett Bischoff's team, meaning that Bischoff is no longer with TNA and he can no longer use the Bischoff name. So Ric Flair tried to give Eric Bischoff a farewell party. Well, let's just say that that farewell party did not work out the way that Eric hoped. Remember when he ended his WWE career? When he got body slammed into a garbage truck? And now this guy gets into some bathroom and poop all over the place? If this is really the end of Eric Bischoff and he's just gonna on television and he's just gonna be behind the scenes and good riddance, I won't miss him. I can give a hoot of Eric Bischoff. But I like the TNA gut check idea. I like the concept. I like that they finally given some people of OVW an opportunity. I thought Alex Silva struggled a little bit. It wasn't his best performance, but it wasn't all that bad. I thought he did decent, but it wasn't one of his best moments. I'll tell you that right now. I've seen Alex Silva perform a lot better than that. Maybe it was nervous. Maybe different environment. I don't know. You went up against Robbie E. and of course Bob Terry, who's part of OVW. I'll tell you that. I just think he just couldn't get it done. You gotta get it done. But I like the excuse me. Sneezing while I'm on the air. Unbelievable. But I like the idea. I like the concept. The gut check giving indie pro wrestlers an opportunity. It's kind of like, and it was kind of silly of me calling it TNA's version of Tough Enough. No, this ain't your version of Tough Enough. This ain't you trying to build wrestlers from the ground up. You're getting wrestlers from the indie circuit. You put them on the big stage and you give them an opportunity. So we shall wait and see. And I believe that the TNA gut check is only going to be once a month, which is understandable because you already have a crowded roster as it is, and you're not WWE. You don't have 2 shows a week. So this whole gut check thing is only going to be once a month. So I hope to see more OVW talent, and I hope to see, I hope to see more other indie wrestlers out there, and it should be a lot of fun. Coming up for the remainder of May, Ricky Reyes, former Ring of Honor wrestler, he's coming up next week on the 11th. The 18th, Auburn Thunder, guest from last week, that's been rescheduled. Controversial NWA Women's Champion Tasha Simone, and now confirmed for March 31st, Dab Savage, wrestler from Georgia. He just sent me a friend request on Facebook today. Shout out to the homie. Doing it, man. Doing big things. Big things popping, man. Much respect to Marcus Streets for calling in. Got a lot of respect for the homie. Good to see a brother out there representing. And again, shout out to Fantasia. Looking real good. I like what I see. Uh, so we're gonna find out if Alex Silva get the contract in a matter of moments. We shall wait and see. Should be interesting. As I close, I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. I want to thank Marcus Street for being on the show. Don't forget, Ricky Reyes will be my guest next Thursday night. And that will do it. I've been flipping channels of the Bulls, of the Heat and the Knicks game, and watch TNA and Impact. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. You all have a good night. Don't forget, Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C is this Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. I am your host, Kenny C, and I'm signing off. You all have a good night. Peace out.